Hi, I'm Charles Band, and welcome to the Conglomera podcast.
Hello, we are having here a wonderful creator, director, and movie maker Charles Band. Nice to see you. Charles.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. First, my question is, how do you feel here in Gdańsk?
I love it. We had the best time. I love the country. Everyone seems happy. We went to a festival yesterday. It was amazing. All these little booths with everybody selling everything, of course. And we went to the river, which was also beautiful. At 10 o'clock at night, there are people and a lot of nightlife and clubs. And no, it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful. And I like the fact that it's yesterday it rained a little bit, so that's nice in August because we're going to Italy now, where I have a place in Italy, and it's super hot and super sunny. And now here it's kind of a little mix, of both. But people are great, and the festival's it's been fun going to the screenings, of course.
How about the Polish fans? Do you have any expectation about the meeting with Polish viewers?
I didn't have any expectations really, but I've traveled a lot, and I made movies in Romania, I made movies in Spain. When I was a kid, my father made movies in former Yugoslavia, so I'm familiar, and I lived in Italy for many years. So I didn't have any real expectations. But it's always nice to see the amount of fans that are here, because for a while in the 80s and 90s, video was very strong. There were video stores everywhere,
yes.
And I know that my movies did very well in those years at the video store. Mm-hmm. When the video stores closed, it also created a distance between me as a filmmaker and the fans. So coming here, where I'm sure we're going to wind up with a good distribution deal with a new Polish distributor, and that's a good thing. But it was so nice to discover there's so many fans here. And most of them are fans of the movies I made 20, 30 years ago, because that's when video was huge. So it's nice to also see some of the younger fans, too, who discovered the movies. So that was the biggest surprise, but a pleasant one, that there's so many fans here in my movies.
You got into a horror world very early, at a young age.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask, how did you get into movie making business? It's a difficult place to work in?
I was super lucky. My father made movies. He was a director, producer, so I literally grew up as a kid on a movie set. All my memories are, he made movies with Steve Reeves, he made movies, westerns. He put me in some of the movies, which I didn't like as a kid. I thought, I want to be behind the scenes. I don't want to be the actor, right? But so I was lucky to grow up in the business. And then, of course, I had a love for the genre, for the horror genre, horror and science fiction. So I was able to, once I turned 21, make my first movie. And then I haven't stopped. The movie that we just finished, that is coming out in 2 weeks, it's called Quadrant. It's my 400th movie, which seems insane,
crazy,
but
yes.
it seems completely crazy.
Crazy number. About horror, why horrors? What is exciting for you in this genre?
Well, I would say I've been making horror, science fiction, fantasy. It's broader than just horror. But I like escapism. I like a fun story. I don't want to be preachy, and there's no secret message in these movies. They're just entertainment. They're just fun. They're entertainment. Sometimes they're fantastic, sometimes they're scary. But I think if you take people for 80 or 90 minutes on a good ride and they enjoy, and I also enjoy doing things that are unique and different. Mm-hmm. So I never copied a trend. Like back in the 80s, 90s, there was all the slasher movies. I never made a slasher movie. And some of the movies I think that I've made over the years stand the test of time real well. I mean, there are movies I made 40 years ago that look like they were made yesterday. There's nothing that makes them feel old. They're just character driven, about interesting people and adventures.
What are your thoughts about independent horror today? Because I think that your films and film is something that changed the modern independent horror?
Well, there's never been a time that horror is more on vogue. People love horror movies. I mean, but the horror movies that are successful today are mostly very scary, dark movies. You know, my movies are a little different. I have some humor in these movies. Some are serious, some are less serious, like The Ginger Dead Man about a killer cookie. That's pretty weird. So I've made similar movies over all my years. It's not like I started 50 years ago making one kind of movie. So, you know, you mix it up. Sometimes serious, sometimes not so serious, sometimes more fantasy. I made some movies in the 90s that were very successful. One was called Prehysteria. And Prehysteria was about these small dinosaurs, you know, that it's more like a kid's fantasy movie. So they're not all dark and bloody. And
what movie are you the most proud of and why? I know it's a difficult question.
Yeah.
I have
There's two or three. Trancers, definitely, and they're screening Trancers today at the festival. That's a clever movie about time travel, but without a machine. It's a different sort of spin on how people could possibly go back to an ancestor, you know. Yeah, probably a few of the Puppet Master movies, because they're fun, Puppet Master 3 especially. And then probably my favorite is called Head of the Family. Most people have not heard of this. Some people know it, but it's a super unique movie. It's just called, you have to see it to understand what it is, Head of the Family.
Okay, actually I should start about this interview from this question. Do you have a deep-seated fear of puppets or toys? Because I think that many of viewers of your film might have one, and it's all your fault, I think. No.
Yeah, no, I have no fear, nothing. I'm fascinated with an object that comes to life, you know, inanimate object. I have no fear of anything except lack of funds. You know, when the money runs out, I'm afraid of that, you know.
But in your films, the murders are always some kind of supernatural beings, never people.
Right, it's true.
Why supernatural?
Okay, so the world has always been full of horrible things happen. People getting killed and stabbed, and people being shot, and wars. And I don't have an interest personally in stories about that. You know, like I say, the slasher movie, whatever it is. If you want that, you can turn your TV on and see something horrible. It's every day, all over the world. So, to me, I always try to make movies that I would enjoy as a fan, and I don't enjoy, you know, real life murders. You know. So to me, if it's fantasy, if it has a little different vibe, that's more interesting to me to watch.
You still are the one creator who prefer practical effects,
yes.
CGI. Why?
I think it's well. I'm changing a little bit because there's another technology that's interesting, but I think it's just more realistic. You know, it's an organic effect. When you see a movie with CGI and the monster is CGI or the creature, it's a cartoon for me. You know, I mean, sometimes it's well done. You know, I'm not saying that there isn't great CGI artists, but to me, it's still it doesn't have a reality. So when I direct an actor and the actor is reacting to something. They're reacting to the real creature. You know, if it's a puppet, a doll, if it's the Ginger Dead Man, it's real, it's there. But for these CGI movies, the actors are reacting to nothing. It's a light, you know, or an imagination. The monster, but there's no monster. They put it in later, you know. And I think you can tell sometimes doesn't have a reality. So I like practical effects that are organic and real.
I would like to also ask about your streaming platform.
Yes.
It was a difficult choice to start with this form of...
No, it was the only choice. Because as we know, the video stores disappeared, right? And my connection was the video stores. And one thing I should mention, is now my streaming site, which has almost 1,000 movies. It's crazy. It's fullmoonfeatures.com, and now it's available here in Poland. And for a limited time, the first month is free. So you sign up like a normal streaming site with a card, and there's a promo code area, and the special word is octopus, of course. So you put in octopus, and the first month is free. You can watch a movie every day, you know. And it's a really good site. So our streaming site, fullmoonfeatures.com, is the video store of today, is what it is, you know. I miss the video stores. I miss going there and renting a movie, but the streaming site's pretty cool.
Okay, and my last question will be about your new 2 films. We have seen trailers of.
Yeah, you saw them?
Yes.
They're good, huh?
Very cool, really
Thank
awesome.
you.
Especially the one with the vampire.
Death Streaming, yeah.
Tell us something.
So and these are all premiering, of course, on our streaming site. So in a few weeks, if you sign up, which is easy, you'll see the first one called Quadrant. So I'm shooting these movies under a new label. I mean, it's Full Moon, but the sub-label is called Pulp Noir.
Yes.
And it's an homage a bit to the film noir movies. So all the Pulp Noir movies, they're shot in color, but they're also envisioned in black and white, so that a month or 2 after the release of color, there'll be a black and white version of every Pulp Noir movie, which will be interesting. So they're classic tales. They're classic, I think, horror movie tales, but with a modern twist. So in the case of Death Streamer, it's a vampire story about this decadent vampire in this opulent house, and he takes his victims down to the kill room. But he not only kills them, he live streams their deaths.
Cool idea.
Thank you. And there's a reason for that, which is in the movie, of course. So yeah, I'm excited about the 2 movies. And again, fullmoonfeatures.com, remember the promo code, Octopus.
I have a lot of questions to ask because time is running.
All right, well, thank you. And are you going to see Trancers, do you think?
Maybe.
It's the top 3 of my movies. Top 3. It's really, really good. It's no Ginger Dead Man, you know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's great.
You finished?
That's it, man. It's game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
It's over.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!